Welcome, my fellow seekers of wisdom, to a transformative journey where we transcend the confines of systems, unveiling profound insights into the human condition and exploring Stoic principles that promise liberation. When we mention the system in this video, we're not speaking of any particular political, cultural or religious system, but rather the underlying force driving our behaviors and mental states. It's the invisible thread weaving through our lives, governing our joys and sorrows. As we unravel the human condition, we find that many of us dance to the tunes of our environment, ever the slaves of external forces. Our happiness becomes tethered to our desires, while sadness lingers as the world snatches our cherished possessions. But what if we refuse to play this game? The ancient philosophy of Stoicism, our guiding light, beckons us to seek freedom from the whims of our environment. It's essential to understand that this journey does not involve changing the world around us. We cannot bend the universe to our will. It's not the external conditions like rain or sunshine that constitute the problem. It's our enslavement to these conditions that we must challenge. Why do we allow these waves of fate to swiftly sweep us away? Why do the smallest misfortunes and bits of luck manipulate our emotions like puppeteers? Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, asserts that it's not the things themselves that disturb us, but the notions we form about them. Our distress arises not from others, but from our own principles. The system prevails as long as we feed it, attributing tragedies and fortunes to what's beyond our control. The more we surrender to it, the more we are manipulated by external forces. Let us embark on a journey to true freedom by embracing 7 Stoic principles. Imagine finding joy in every circumstance, no matter how dire it might seem. This is where the Stoic principle of cheerfulness in all circumstances enters the scene. Instead of yearning for life to unfold according to our desires, Stoicism invites us to accept everything that comes our way. By doing so, we liberate ourselves from the chains of expectation and disappointment. We learn to dance in the rain instead of waiting for the sun. Freedom lies not in the world around us, but in our acceptance of it. What if you weren't bound by the fear of societal judgment? Imagine a life where your worth isn't measured by others' opinions. This is the Stoic principle of diminishing concern for reputation. It's about recognizing that the chains of societal judgment are self-imposed. The fear of how others perceive us can be paralyzing, but when we let go of this fear, we unlock the door to true freedom. The opinions of others hold no power over us unless we allow them to. Unchain yourself from the shackles of societal judgment, and you will find liberation. What if the path to freedom was not avoidance but endurance? In our quest for liberation, we often sidestep discomfort. Yet the Stoic principle urges us to embrace it. Instead of fleeing from the storm, we must learn to weather it. For it's in the heart of the tempest that we find our true strength. This is the power of endurance. It's about standing firm, unyielding to the winds of adversity. It's about turning trials into triumphs. Through endurance, we find strength and freedom. Are strong attachments to loved ones holding you back? The Stoic wisdom of detachment isn't about indifference, but about seeing our loved ones as they truly are, mortal and impermanent. This perspective liberates us from the emotional shackles that come with attachment, allowing us to love freely and fearlessly. It empowers us to appreciate the moments we share without the constant dread of loss. It's about cherishing, not clinging. By letting go of attachments, we free ourselves from emotional manipulation. Can others truly provoke you, or do you give them that power? Let's ponder upon this. The Stoic principle of empowerment through response offers a profound insight into this question. It asserts that when faced with provocation or offense, we possess the power to choose our reaction. This might seem simple on the surface, yet it's a principle deeply rooted in personal empowerment. We often find ourselves reacting impulsively to situations, allowing others to influence our emotional state. But what if we pause for a moment and consciously decide how we want to respond? Such a shift in perspective can transform our lives significantly. It enables us to preserve our inner tranquility, irrespective of the circumstances. It's important to remember that our reactions are the only things truly under our control. So why let others dictate them? Preserve your inner tranquility by choosing your responses, and you will find freedom. So, are you ready to take the reins of your emotional state into your own hands? What if the fear of death isn't the root of all fears, but the fear of not living a virtuous life? Let's delve into the Stoic principle of embracing mortality. Stoicism urges us to acknowledge that death is an inevitable part of our existence. It's not a grim thought, but a liberating one. Why? Because when we understand that our time is finite, we start to live more purposefully. We don't squander our moments on meaningless pursuits. Instead, we invest in actions that cultivate virtue and inner peace. We foster relationships that are genuine and meaningful. We strive to make each day count, not out of fear of the end, but in celebration of the now. This understanding demystifies death, freeing us from its daunting shadow. It prompts us to live courageously, unshackled by the dread of the inevitable. Our lives become a testament to virtue, not a race against time. By embracing mortality, we find the courage to live a life truly worth living. And that concludes our journey through the Stoic principles that lead us to freedom. Each principle invites us to detach ourselves from external forces and find true liberation within. Remember, you are not a slave to the system unless you willingly surrender your freedom. Break free from these chains, transcend the whims of the world, and experience a life truly worth living. Subscribe for more self-improvement content, and if you want to dive deeper into information on how to become a better version of yourself, subscribe to our weekly newsletter linked below. Together we will change the world for the better, one step at a time.